G'day there guys, Vanquisher of Karens, Mark is here. Welcome back to another episode of r/EntitledParents. Now if you love these stories like I love reading them, I want you to smash that like button and tell me what you think of it down in the comments below. Enjoy your stay, and I'll see you soon. Posted by user Anchor McDaddy. Titled, Karen attempts to order at a closed restaurant, despite me telling her that she can't order because we're closed. This happened about 4 years ago when I was working at McDonald's. Now, this one is a 24/7 McDonald's, but due to the management at the time, we had to do a deep clean. So we closed at 8, and we gave considerable notice, as there were signs everywhere letting people know. Then there's the blind driver who went past all 7 signs, not noticing a single one. I'm on the headset for drive-thru. Our cast are me, yours truly, EM, entitled mother, and M, the manager. Me. Here's the beep that someone's at the order station and I say, "Hi, welcome to McDonald's. Unfortunately, we're closed at the mo." "I'd like a fish finger Happy Meal and a large quarter pounder meal with a Diet Coke, please." "I'm sorry, ma'am. We can't provide any services at the moment because we just closed for maintenance and deep cleaning tonight." "What do you mean? This is an all-day, all-night McDonald's." "Yes, we are. However, this was the business manager's decision, ma'am. I can't provide any service at this time. I'm posted here to let customers know that we're closed in case they miss the signs outside." "I don't like your tone. I'd like to see your manager." "Of course, ma'am. 1 minute, please." So I go to the manager and explain the situation up to when she asked for him. He takes the headset and I grab a spare. Manager says, "Hello, this is the manager for tonight. What seems to be the issue?" "I'd like to order, please." "Ma'am, my crew member explained we are closed at the moment for maintenance and deep cleaning. You're going to have to find another McDonald's that's open, like the one in X and the other one in the city center." "But it's my son's birthday today, and I want to treat him." "Ma'am, I understand that, but none of our equipment is on to provide service." "Ugh, you ruined my kid's birthday. I'm coming to the window." Entitled mother drives up to the window and demands to see my manager's superior, screaming at him, not knowing that he is the only superior there, since he's the damned business manager. And he says, "I am the business manager, ma'am. You've decided to harass my crew and disrespect me. We have your plate, face, and car's description, and will not only report you to the police, but we're permanently banning you from this McDonald's. Congrats though, you're the first person I've ever had to ban." Karen drives off and we resume the cleaning. We did have leftovers from before we closed, so we held a friendly competition for the most creative burger. I didn't win, but I got to eat my spicy quad Big Mac Supreme. TLDR, Karen didn't get the hint that we're closed, so she screams at the business manager to get his in-store superior when he has no superior in the store. She was banned and we reported her to the police for aggressive behavior. Thank you for reading. Posted by user Pumpkin Thighs. Titled, Could My Mom Be Religiously Abusive? This all pretty much started when I was 13. At the time I had undiagnosed depression, and as a result of being sad, I shut myself in and hated going anywhere. I would flip out at a lot of people, and while it was an embarrassing part of my life, I don't think I can really blame myself. I mean, one day I'm just a happy teenager, and the next I'm hit with a wall of just self-loathing and sadness. You can credit it to regular teenage moodiness, but it doesn't just happen overnight. Anyways, when I first had some depressive episodes, I didn't want to go to church as a result. The first week or so I could fake sick, but I couldn't fake sick every Sunday. My parents ended up dragging me to church while I was in tears because I didn't feel well mentally, was confused as to why I didn't feel well mentally, and hated my parents and church as a result. I remember my mum saying things like, "It's just a phase, you need to go to church. You don't get a choice in the matter." Very hypocritical considering the fact that my religion highlights the whole free agency thing. "You're in big trouble if we catch you out of line." I ended up hiding in the bathroom or leaving the church building just to cry and avoid my family. My mum specifically would drag me to the temple when I knew for a fact that I had been sinning, and wasn't worthy to attend the temple. Sexual sins mainly. She brushed off my pleas to just stay home. If anything, I think that I kept those sins going because it was the 1 ounce of pleasure that I got. I didn't do it because, haha, dick look funny, I want the D, but because I lacked pleasure and enjoyment in life, so that physical pleasure became a solid source of enjoyment in life. It was a truly dark place. I'm not sure if this is how it works, but I think I either kicked the depression bucket away or learned to repress it and pretend everything was a-okay. My parents stopped saying those things because I was just sitting there quietly now, and I truly believed that I didn't get a choice or deserve a choice in my own religious path. It's pretty much been alright since then. There have been the occasional weekends when I just mentally feel horrible, only to get the whole "you don't get a choice" crap. I'm 17 now and have officially been diagnosed. My depression had gotten really bad again. I believe it's partially due to the fact that I'm being forced to attend church and attend a 6 a.m. church class every fudging weekday. I can't get enough sleep and I just want to have time to focus on myself and practice healthy habits. It's not faith if it's forced. Recently, my mum's turned to giving me a choice. Either I attend church and the early morning class, or lose driving privileges and successfully be isolated at home because I can't go out to see friends or go to work without asking for a ride. My mum claims it's not manipulation because it's a choice, but I really don't think she's in the right. Is my mum actually religiously abusive, or am I just a tired, moody teenager? Update/edit. I'm not sure which to use, but I just kinda wanted to address everyone else's kind words. I know Mormonism isn't a rather liked religion, but it's nice to see that people actually looked past the religion part and focused on my mum and her actions towards me. I learned that I don't hate my religion, but instead have an underlying hatred towards my mother. I've invited her to my next therapy session this coming Tuesday because I know that just telling her myself won't end well. Overall, I'm so happy for all the support. I plan on getting my mum to understand that I'm taking a break from church and church-related activities until after I graduate, because I can't handle going to church knowing that she's breathing down my neck. I'll update again after therapy. Posted by user Fallen Astray, titled, "Biological Dad Blames Me for the Abuse I Suffered from His Girlfriend for Years." Alright. I'm not sure where this should go, either under r/raised by narcissists or r/abusive parents or what, but I figured I would start here. Warning, this is rather long and I just needed to get this off my chest. Small backstory. My mum and dad divorced when I was in the 5th grade. I'm on the lower spectrum of autism and didn't understand anything that was really happening during this time. I'm 22 now and I understand everything, but growing up, all I knew was that my younger sister, 3 years younger than me, and I would see our biological dad every weekend, to every other weekend, and sometimes on holidays. He got a new girlfriend, and my mum met my stepdad. Both sides had a child. My half-brother from my mum's side, and my half-sister on my dad's, both are less than a year apart. Okay, that wasn't really a small backstory, but whatever. About the end of middle school, my sister and I were seeing my biological dad every other weekend. I'll say it now, my dad when I was little and before the divorce was an incredible father. I was known as the daddy's girl, and I loved him to the ends of the world. He taught me how to make omelets, allowed me to stir the mac and cheese, brought us to many places that I still love now. That was before he met his girlfriend. At first, she was okay. She knew how to bake really well and enjoyed watching cooking shows, and I'll say this now that she isn't thin. She isn't even average. She was big. Like, big. And she was very religious. At first, being super naive at my ripe young age of 10, I didn't understand the little things that she would do. My hair was really long back then, about down to my hips. I hated how long it was, so I didn't care if it got knots or tangled or anything. I was just too quiet and nervous to have it cut, so it stayed long. In middle school, I was signed up to do dance classes in an attempt to help me make friends with kids my age. Lol, didn't work out for me, and it was required to have your hair up in a bun. I just couldn't figure out how to tie it up. She would make comments about how I was a slow snail and got mad at me when I asked for help, saying it was ridiculous for someone my age not to know how to tie up my hair in a bun. I remember crying about this and for my dad to tell me to suck it up. Eventually, as I got older, I was developing in ways that I didn't like. In dance class, all the other kids were like twigs, and I was this curvier, thicker kid, very quiet and shy, and no one wanted to be around me. I was still this incredible and passionate dancer, but the way I looked made me feel off about myself. On top of the comments from this girlfriend, it really hit my self-esteem. I was still unaware of the things this girlfriend would do, and how badly it affected my eating. My sister was way more aware of things she would do to me that I just couldn't see. I remember one evening while our dad was grabbing things from the store and his girlfriend was watching us. We were in this area that was halfway between the kitchen and the living room. There was a bag of chips on the counter that we would take a few pieces out of while chatting. My sister was showing different dance moves, the girlfriend was talking, and I was listening and eating the chips. I remember specifically that I did not finish the bag. There was still plenty left for 2 more full servings. She suddenly grabs the chip bag to put away and notices how empty, in her eyes, that it was. And she straight up loses it at me. I could only sit there in shock as she tells me I was going to grow up to be fat and a disgusting woman, talking about my period, God hates gluttons, and how crappy my self-control was if I couldn't stop myself from eating half a bag of chips. I ended up crying in the bathroom and didn't eat for the rest of the day. Now here's where the title of this post comes from. I'll say it now, I was rather a picky eater. I didn't like Mexican, Asian, pizza, hamburgers, various sandwiches, and etc. And many food items I had to have ketchup with, it was pretty bad. I'm getting better about it now, but it was a huge safety net for me to dip in ketchup when trying new food. But still, I was very, very picky. Both Dad and his girlfriend knew that very well. I don't remember when this started, but she started to not care about how picky I was. I don't like warm and mushy fruits, so blueberry pancakes were a big no for me. Instead of making a separate, as my dad was about to do, she stopped him and told him to add blueberries to it anyways. Obviously, I didn't really like it, so I started carefully picking the blueberries out of the pancakes so that I could eat them. Before I could even start eating, she took my plate away and threw it in the trash, saying I wasn't allowed to eat for the rest of the day. I was too shocked to even cry. Just bottling it up and remaining quiet on the couch, we weren't allowed to take anything from the fridge, so I had to sit there and watch the rest of everyone eat without me. Luckily, while she was taking a shower, my dad manages to make a small bowl of those little baby pickles for me to munch on so that I had something in my stomach. This continued for years. They would make something that they knew I wouldn't like, and I tried my best to eat what I could. I would ask for ketchup and she would yell at me about how disgusting I was for wanting that on her cooking. Every dinner I would beg for it. Even if it was food I liked, but required that delicious tomato paste, they refused to give it to me. Eventually, I started eating really fast. The tastes and textures made me want to vomit, but I was sick of coming back to my mum's house and straight up devouring the whole fridge. His girlfriend again yells at me for eating too fast. Every single time, she would take my food away, and I wasn't allowed to eat anything for the rest of the day. My sister and I would have to sit there and watch them grab snacks and lunches for themselves, shoving food down their gullets while we had to find something to do, afraid of getting yelled at if we sat on the couch for too long, while they would sit there all day on their phones. It came to a point where I was terrified to ask for a glass of water in their house. My sister and I would try and come up with excuses to not go there, to which my dad would then guilt trip us. He'd say, "Oh, well, I guess I'll have to tell your baby sister why her sisters aren't coming over." So we had to go. Not allowed to bring our games, not allowed to bring homework, had to sit and wait for food and hope it wasn't taken away. I was too afraid to say anything, and when I did say something, I was screamed at about how much of a pathetic idiot I was. Because of this, I was, and still am, the slowest eater in all of my friend groups. I would always ask for permission to do things such as use the bathroom, grab a cup of water, ask if I accidentally grabbed too much food, and if I should put it back, if it's okay to have seconds. This led to me starving myself of food because I didn't believe I deserved it. In dance, I had the worst self-esteem. Comparing my body to those very thin and teeny girls, I would weigh myself over a dozen times a day, harming myself so I could not feel the hunger pains, covering mirrors because I didn't want to see how gross my body was, and developing into something that I hated, and still get ridiculed and yelled at about my weight from this girlfriend. I was throwing up my meals and stayed in one spot, either on the couch or a hermit in my bedroom, drawing to try and pass the time, only to get yelled at for being a lazy bum. I think you all know where this is going. To spare the graphic detail, my mum had to rush me to the hospital. On the way there, my mum was chewing my dad a new a-hole through the phone, yelling at him about how much weight I've lost, how his girlfriend was not to treat me like that, a whole lot of things that I couldn't remember. My dad did come to see me. I thought maybe since he was alone and away from his girlfriend, he would apologize and just, be a father. But instead, what he said absolutely broke me. Why on earth would you do this to yourself? You're 15. You should know better. I just don't understand why you would do something so stupid. I just started sobbing. I was in the hospital and he just couldn't understand that he and his girlfriend led me to this place. I didn't know what to say to him. All I could do was stutter and rock back and forth to try and soothe myself. But he just kept asking those same questions. He left as my mum enters. All I could do was cry at that point. I went to different counselors and therapists. The end of my 8th grade year was me going to doctor after doctor, but I was too scared to explain why and or talk about what I felt in fear of getting yelled or ridiculed at. This led to my diagnosis of bulimia, clinically severe depression, and generalized anxiety disorder. I wish this had a happier ending. My mum, I love her so much, she's straight up a mama bear, full on reprimanding my dad, was definitely a relief, because it felt like she was saying all the things I wish I could say. Before people ask, I am doing so much better now, while I still have a nasty fear of getting yelled at. I stopped purging and starving myself, and I'm over 5 years strong. After all this crap happened, I left dance in pursuit of drawing and animal care. I was finding myself, and by the beginning of my freshman year of high school, finally realized how dysphoric I felt about my body and sex. I came out to my mum as transgender. She was very supportive and tries her best. As for Dad, well, that very religious evil stepmother. All that is a story for another day. Posted by user Russian Anna B. Titled, Daughter was 6 hours late to interview. Entitled mother yells at me for making her cry. Hello everyone, long-time creeper on here. Never thought I'd run into an entitled mum, EM, but here we are. So I'm 20 female. I am a dog groomer. Been one for 4, almost 5 years. The big thing is, dog grooming is reputation, quality, and time management. Yesterday, we were expecting a girl to come in at 10 to try out as a dog groomer. She was promising. 23 or 25 years old, worked as a dog groomer at other places. She didn't show until 4:30. No call, no nothing. She apparently had a hair appointment, and her friends from out of town came in so they got their nails done. She asked if she could groom now. I said no, I don't think so. When she pressed, I said, and I might be a jerk for saying this, we don't want or need you. There's no need to reschedule your tryouts. I went back to get my last 2 dogs done. Apparently she cried, and I was starting to feel bad. Now is the entitled mother time. Her mum came in this morning demanding we give her a second chance. I told her, your daughter was 6.5 hours late. That's not something that works in dog grooming. Entitled mother replied, she was with friends. I'd think someone your age would understand that. I say, not when there's a job interview. She didn't call or anything. At this point, I was ticked and over it. I have 5 dogs to get done. She said, well, there was no reason to make her cry. I said I disagree and got back to work. Apparently, she stayed up there and demanded we give her another shot. As head dog groomer, I said not gonna happen. She left eventually, saying her daughter was too good for us. Alright, that's where I think I'm going to end today's episode, guys. As always, I really do hope you learned something or just really enjoyed the posts that were put up today. Quick shout out to all my new and existing Patreon and channel members. You should be able to see your name on screen right now, and if you don't, then I don't think you're part of the club, and you really should join the club because it's a great club. And I want to thank every single one of you guys for supporting me in this journey. It really means so much to me, and I love you all so much for it. Thank you for helping me out. As you can tell, I'm now happy and healthy back in Australia. Thank God it's not cold like Ireland. I don't like wearing jumpers everywhere. I prefer the heat. Thank you very much. I know that's an unpopular opinion. Anyway, guys, I really do hope you enjoyed today's episode. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, night, sleep, whatever you're up to, and I'll see you later. Bye.